Fun fact about Minecraft blocks, they don't exist. Hello everyone, welcome back to another tutorial by Mr.Gammacraft, and yes, today we will be exploring ghost blocks. And you might be wondering, what kind of cheats or command blocks did I use for this? And actually, I did not use anything and everything that I show you in this video can easily be done in survival. And as you can see, this block, if I right click on it, is not real. I accomplished all this with this machine. First, I'll show you what it does, then I'll explain how it works, and finally I will give you a tutorial. When you hit this button, this block becomes a ghost block. Now, ghost blocks, they don't actually exist. They're a bug in the game, which means that if you relog, it will not be there anymore. Also, if you update them at all, like, oh, I guess that was a bad example because it looks like I just broke it, but if they're updated at all, push and presses against them, you place a block next to them, or something as simple as right-clicking on them, they cease to exist because they're not really there. All you have to do is update them and the game corrects itself. And I don't have to have stone here. Like, I can grab almost any block in the game. I say almost for two reasons. One, because redstone blocks, I can't remember if it works with slime blocks, so I'll have to test that later. Redstone blocks will mess with the redstone in the actual machine, so you can't do it with those. And it has to be a movable block, so the pistons can interact with it. So nothing like obsidian, redstone, furnaces, stuff like that. Yeah, these things are really cool. Now, there's a few more things I want to show you about them. First of all, if you place any block on a ghost block, it turns into that block. And this, I'm right clicking on it, is not actually a ghost block. This is a real existing block. Also, if I put a block here, this might get a little complicated, so I'm going to try to explain this as best as I can. You can see the ghost blocks push this block. Now, what actually happened here, this is a ghost block, and this is a ghost block. The wooden planks never moved. They're just here. The wooden planks never actually moved. They just look like oak wood because of a glitch in the game. So this is a ghost block, this is a ghost block, and this is oak wood planks disguised as a log. It's that simple. Please leave a comment if this is too confusing. I'll try to do another video in which I explain it a little better. So now I'm going to talk about how this works. This piston and this sticky piston are powered by this redstone block, which is this distance away for a reason, which I'll get into in a second. That means that this comes on at about the same time as this, and the piston, when activated, becomes an immovable block, and therefore the slime block cannot move it. So this block is more of a placeholder than anything else, something that won't be moved during this whole process, because if it was moved, this would be pulled out instead of a ghost block. And this block does have to be here. It's a little, I'm not entirely sure why, but long story short, if this moved, like if it was any block besides a piston or a sticky piston, actually I don't even know if sticky pistons work, but if it was a different block, let's just say that this whole machine would not function properly. Yeah, so I hope you guys understand this well, because this can get really complicated. So, the reason that this is a comparator, I'm not going to fully explain this just because I plan to do... Actually, you know what, I will explain it. Let me just grab a repeater, redstone, and a block of redstone. Okay, it's kind of simple how this works. First of all, redstone has a limit to how far it can go. You can see by how lit up it is that it keeps getting weaker and weaker and weaker If there's those sparks though, it's still technically active even though it's like really weak. Its limit is 15 blocks, so that's 15 blocks away. If I put a comparator like say here, well, the thing about comparators, they measure the inputs of what's going in from behind them and what's coming in from the side of them. If what's coming in from the side is stronger than behind, the comparator turns off. But if the signal behind it is stronger, a direct redstone block, it comes on. That's what allows those pistons to shut off. When I hit this button, the strength of this one piece of redstone is stronger than these two pieces of redstone because it's traveling a longer distance. That's why these two turn off. Then these repeaters just power this piston. It's pretty simple. Now it all has to be timed just right. Well, this button, as you can see, it powers this repeater through this block and this redstone, which powers that repeater and that comparator through this block. Whew, okay. So yeah, this is getting really complicated. I'll hopefully explain it better through the tutorial, but basically it has to be timed just right that this slime block comes out at the exact same second that this block, your preferred block here, gets pulled back. So it's pushed this way and that way simultaneously. This piston will win just barely. That's why this one stays real right here. But it's still not enough to prevent this block from spawning. Basically, it's like a duplication machine, but Minecraft's gotten good enough that it doesn't let it duplicate fully, but it's not quite good enough yet that the block isn't there. Like, here's the thing about ghost blocks. You can see them, obviously. You can actually stand on them, so you don't, like, walk through them. But, if you are standing on them, I've actually seen people get kicked from servers when they stand on ghost blocks because they were flying, because there's actually nothing there. Hold on, let me... Okay. So yeah, that's basically everything you need to know for the explanation. Now let's get on to the tutorial. Okay, so this is everything that you're going to need. You're going to want to start off with some stone, like this. Put a redstone block here. You could use some other power sources, but I would advise a redstone block just because it's the only one that won't, like, turn off. Like, a torch can be powered, and pressure plates and buttons and levers, well, that's obvious why they can turn off, but you get the picture. I would advise using a redstone block, but you can put any power source here, as long as you're confident that it won't, you know, turn off. Now on to the part that actually messes around with the block itself. So, I don't think that's right. No. Okay, so how did I do this? The block would go there before extended, which means the piston, or the sticky piston, would have to go right there. So the sticky piston is right there, which should mean that when you put the block here, it should be diagonal with this piston. Then you fill in the spaces like this. So put a block there, you can get rid of this block, and put a wooden button. I think it has to be a wooden button just because of the timing. You put redstone there so it powers this comparator. A repeater set to 1 tick, so don't change it. And a repeater set to 2 ticks to get the timing right. And redstone like this. I think that's right. Let me go check just to make sure. No, not redstone. Because they have to power the piston blocks. So the redstone repeaters power the blocks, which in turn power the piston when it's in front of them. So let's see if it works. And we have got ourselves a ghost stone block. Yep, a ghost stone block. So that is pretty much everything. The machine itself isn't that hard to build, and it's not that complicated a piece of redstone. But it can be difficult to, like, you know, understand, just because of all the stuff that goes into making it work, all the different principles. One last thing about ghost blocks, guys. They can be moved with pistons, as you know. However, I believe that if you try to pull them with a sticky piston, it unloads it. And, like, here, let me actually demonstrate this. So, I'll put a sticky piston, right, like here, with a button. So let's make a few ghost blocks. Okay, like watch this. If I try to retract this ghost block, it unloads. And they do actually count as blocks when pistons, so you can't like push an infinite number of them. The piston can only push like, you know, 12 blocks, just like as if it was a normal Minecraft block. So it technically is a block in some ways, but it really isn't. Like, this isn't a duplication method. Don't worry, Mojang. If you make like replicate diamond ore with this, if you try to mine it, it will unload. You can't actually mine this, or you can mine it, but it won't drop anything. So don't worry, Mojang. This is not a duplication glitch. You don't have to get rid of this. So, bye guys. I will see you all in the next video.